We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. It's that time again. Mr. I Told You So is back, as Devin Haney finally admits that him and his father, Bill Haney, they made some egregious mistakes while negotiating the Ryan Garcia fight. In this video, you're going to hear it from his own words, Devin Haney, which ironically is what Boxing Ego has been telling y'all. So I can't wait to get unpacked. We unpack, coming to you live. Now, often imitated, never duplicated. There's a lot of low quality content in the world of boxing. I give you guys high quality content, audio, visuals, the knowledge. Support what's real in this sport of boxing. Hit the subscribe button. Devin Haney was on All the Smoke. The full interview will be released shortly. And he was speaking with Andre Ward. And in this interview with Andre Ward, Ward mentioned that he had Eddie Hearn as a guest. And while Eddie Hearn was a guest, he said he was being respectful, but Eddie Hearn did mention that he was brought along for the Ryan Garcia fight as, I don't even know his exact role, but let's just say additional set of eyes. And Eddie admitted that the Haneys went about things their own way and mistakes were made. And when that interview with Eddie Hearn came out, I made a video. So this is the follow-up video, because now Devin Haney has finally admitted that what Eddie Hearn has said, which coincides with what Boxing Ego has said, don't forget that, keep that in the back of your mind, is true. And he's admitting that they made mistakes negotiating the Ryan Garcia fight. So let's get set up. So we're going to listen to it uncut. I'm not going to jump in and commentate. So I just want you guys to listen, and then I'll, of course, give my thoughts on the matter. Roll the clip.
When did Ryan's name start coming up as a real possibility?
I don't remember exactly. Ryan's lawyer reached out to us and was like, we're trying to make the fight. Ryan, assisted me to reach out to, make the fight. But we didn't know how serious it was. Me and Ryan, we just basically got on the phone. I told him everything I wanted. And yeah.
See, I like that, but they don't be talking about that enough. They don't talk about the fighters bypassing the suits, bypassing the managers, and really getting the deal done. Lawyers got to do their job with the paperwork, but I like that, because a lot of times that's how stuff get done.
Yeah.
We talked about it with Terrence and Spence. That's how that fight got made. Like I said, we talked to Eddie, and I asked Eddie, I said, well, what was your involvement in the negotiations? And Eddie was super respectful, but he said, I think they missed some stuff. He said, I think with the Ryan Garcia negotiations, he should have had weight clauses on there. He should have had stipulations on there, and he missed some opportunities. In hindsight, looking back, do you think y'all missed some opportunities in the negotiations?
Yeah, I definitely think that we missed a lot of things negotiating. Me and my pops, we negotiated that fight. It wasn't anybody else. So, it's just part of the growing pains. We missed out on some things. We took more of the pie as far as the money, but we just missed out on some very valuable things that we learned.
Wow. So you guys just heard it. Devin Haney says that there were missed opportunities.
He should have had weight clauses on there. He should have had
weight clauses, some different stipulations
on there, and he missed some opportunities.
Missed opportunities. You hear the question from Andre Ward.
Hindsight, looking back, do you think y'all missed some opportunities?
Absolutely.
In hindsight, looking back, do you feel you had some missed opportunities? He said, absolutely, we missed some things in there.
Negotiation.
Yeah, I definitely think that we missed a lot of things.
We missed a lot of things.
Me and my pops,
we negotiated. Okay, so you did a bad job. That's what that means. See, the thing is, people get mad at Boxing Ego, and then Boxing Ego keeps being right. I don't know what y'all expect from me. See, I don't believe in conformity. I'm not going to conform and say what you want me to say. I make the unpopular statements at the time because it hasn't been proven. And then when it is proven, notice how that unpopular opinion becomes popular. That's what happened. I spoke my truth, or how I see and viewed this whole situation with Devin Haney. People said I was hating. I didn't know what I was talking about. Fast forward to the future. Now, all of a sudden, when you see it play out, Boxing Ego was clearly right. Everybody agrees with me. It's funny how that works. Now he's admitting that there were things wrong in the Ryan Garcia negotiation, which he just took credit for. He said him and his dad negotiated this. Oh my gosh, I'm on fire.
Ryan Garcia negotiations, he should have had weight clauses on there. He should have had stipulations on there. And he missed some opportunities. In hindsight, looking back, do you think y'all missed some opportunities in the negotiation?
Yeah, I definitely think that we missed a lot of things negotiating. Me and my pops, we negotiated that fight. It wasn't anybody else. So
it wasn't anybody else. So he took full credit, which means Boxing Ego was right before anybody. Then Eddie Hearn was right because he said that we negotiated ourselves, me and my pops, the Ryan Garcia fight, nobody else. He just told you. He just gave up the game. Oh my gosh.
Things negotiating. Me and my pops, we negotiated that fight. It wasn't anybody else. So it's just part of the growing pains. We missed out on some.
Yeah, it's growing pains, all right. You Kirk Cameron out this mug.
On some things, we took more of the pie as far as, the money.
Now, I believe that's a lie. He said we took more of the pie per the money, but Bill Haney and Devin Haney are on wax. They've done interviews where they said that they had to give Ryan Garcia the lion's share of the money. So how did you take more of the pie? See, this is the problem when it comes to boxing. You're not going to pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. When I say these things, you guys say, oh, you're hating, oh, blah, 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 blah. I don't care about none of that. Prove me wrong. Devin Haney and his dad both admitted before the Ryan Garcia fight that they had to take less money to get this done. And Ryan, as a non-champion, never been a champion in his life, based on his following and having the Tank fight as a precursor, he was entitled to more of the money. And Ryan Garcia will tell you this. So why is Devin Haney now doing an interview with Andre Ward saying that we made mistakes, but he's trying to make it sound good by saying somehow we took a larger piece of the pie? No, you didn't. And I can get in touch with Ryan Garcia if you want to prove that Ryan Garcia got the lion's share of the money. Please do.
So, it's just part of the growing pains.
See, and this is what I'm talking about in boxing when it comes to accountability. Accountability is sometimes you're 100% wrong in a certain situation. But what people like to do is people don't want to just outright say, oh, we dropped the ball and this is all our fault. They don't want 100% or the brunt of the blame. So they'll start throwing other stuff out there or somehow trying to blame other people. What the Haneys experience, not talking about Ryan and the Osterine because they couldn't control that. Duh, that's common sense. But the negotiating before you even got in the fight, it was a fight. And it's a battle of the pins when you're talking about contracts, when you're talking about making it make sense before you even step in the ring. He just admitted that his dad and himself negotiated the fight with Ryan Garcia, and it shows the level of pompous and arrogance in the Haneys leading into that fight. They thought Ryan was a quitter. They underestimated Ryan. It's clear as day. Stevie Wonder could see it. Ribbon in the sky, anybody could see it. You underestimated the man. And then when Ryan started acting like he was bat-ish crazy, it probably made your confidence grow because you thought Ryan was asleep, like he wasn't taking it serious, and you respect your skills and you know how hard you trained and whatnot. And that's the other thing. People keep bringing up the weight in the Ryan Garcia fight. The weight, Ryan missed weight. It was a contracted weight. You have some options there. Cancel the whole thing, which is what I said should have happened. They elected to renegotiate, take a cut of Ryan's money or whatever penalty money, which wasn't the amount that they bet at the press conference, which is another mistake. right? You bet 500K per pound. He missed by almost 4 pounds. So you should have got cool over $1 million. But then as it happened, we find out that he didn't give you that much. When you renegotiated far lesser a penalty, and Devin got around 650K. So that's like virtually about half of what you should have got paid based on what you guys did a handshake or verbal agreement on or whatever at the press conference. So this is mistake after mistake after mistake. There's no way to clean it up. Only thing you could do is learn from it. And again, when I say these things, people say, oh, Ego, you're a hater. I'm a hater for telling the truth. Then whatever, I'll wear that scarlet letter. He's telling you we made mistakes. So I don't know what he's talking about Devin saying we took the bulk of the pie.
Negotiating. Me and my pops, we negotiated that fight. It wasn't anybody else. So, it's just part of the growing pains. We missed out on some things. We took more of the pie as far as the money.
How did he take more of the money when Ryan was the star who had just did over $1 million? It doesn't make sense. He had done over 1 million pay-per-view buys with Gervonta Davis the year before, even in the losing effort. So Ryan has a bigger fan base. He was involved in a bigger pay-per-view. Explain how Devin Haney took the bulk of the pie and the money. He didn't. So I don't know why he's saying this. Ask Golden Boy. And it was a Golden Boy. You had to sign the Golden Boy. That's Ryan's promoter before it was ever Devin Haney's temporary promoter. So tell me how he got. But again, people don't want to say we messed up, and that just be it. So they start throwing other things out there. But you got to be truthful. You didn't make more money than Ryan.
Part of the growing pains. We missed out on some things. We took more of the pie as far as the money.
You didn't take more of the pie. Stop.
But we just missed out on some very valuable things that we learned.
We missed up on some very. I'm done, bro. Stop playing with me. I told you. I'm surgical with this. Jake, I told you I'm surgical. I've been. The only thing I ask is fairness. I don't care if you like me. I don't care if you like my channel. I don't let anyone dictate the job that I do and how well I do it. I know I do a bang up job. I know I am the best in the business, and it's not even close. I don't care what anyone's saying. The points that Boxing Ego brings up, when they're unpopular, they stick. They tend to linger around. I've been telling you this from day one, and I'm fully prepared to prove it, right? So the fight was April 20th. This was a tweet from me, Boxing Ego, April 22nd. So this is literally, I was the only person talking about this immediately after the fight, and even before the fight, I said some of these things. Tank Davis' team had the safeguard of a rematch clause just in case Ryan beat their star fighter. So if Tank were to lose, he had a one-way rematch clause. Although they didn't need it because Tank, of course, beat Ryan. Devin Haney was the WBC champion, and I said is because at the time he still was the WBC champion. Why didn't you add a rematch clause to the contract? Again, ego, #ego. I quoted it. I showed a prior video that I had made showing that Tank had a one-way rematch clause with Ryan Garcia. So Tank's team did an amazing job. They have a star fighter. They didn't make the Ryan Garcia fight with the intentions that he would lose, but it's a just in case motion, right? Just in case Ryan connected some crazy left hook and he loses, we want access to Ryan Garcia again. So that's the rematch clause. Now Devin is admitting that they dropped the ball in that regard. I said the same day, April 22nd, because I'm the best in the business, 2 days after the fight, all the people complaining about Ryan Garcia's weight miss, let's ask the real questions here. How come Team Haney, Devin Haney's team, and Bill Haney and Eddie Hearn, so an additional promoter, were supposed to be looking out for Devin's best interest, but they didn't have a rematch clause in place for their champion? And here's a quote. where it says Oscar De La Hoya says Haney Garcia does not have a rematch clause. So again, your boy Ego being the best in the business, and it's not even close. I've been warning you that Devin Haney and his team made some egregious mistakes. I didn't stop there. April 22nd, I said, so Team Haney, one, had no rematch clause versus Ryan Garcia in the event that he won, because initially it was a victory. Two, did not elect to do a customary same-day weigh-in with Ryan Garcia when he missed weight by 3.2, 3.4 pounds or whatever it was. Three, gave Ryan Garcia the lion's share of money, which I already went over in this video, and made him the A-side after claiming they were the face of boxing and that they sent Tank Davis a $20 million offer, who is the real face of boxing. So that's 3 strikes. 2 or 4, you put 2 West Coast fighters on the East Coast to fight. And I said, why did Team Haney move like this without any standard safeguards in place for their champion? Woo, I'm on fire. And then when the fight played out how it played out, that's when it all comes to pass. That's when you're forced, you have no chance to do anything else but to look in hindsight and be like, man, we really made a mistake, right? And that's exactly what happened. See, winning is great, but you'll discover a lot more in terms of flaws when you lose. If you're doing whatever you're doing and it's working out for you, then you don't have nothing to worry about. And oftentimes, most people don't have the self-awareness to step outside that space and say, hey, everything we're doing is great and it's working and we keep winning. So do we still need to change anything? Unfortunately, more people in this world are reactive instead of proactive. And that's the case here. Devin Haney was moving along, moseying along, beat Kambosos in Australia, a risk that paid off. Beat Lomachenko, albeit it was close, but it paid off because he had a certified name like Lomachenko on his resume, squeaked by with the win. Then he moved up, another risk, fought Regis Prograis, schooled him, dropped him, hurt him, took his belt. So it was full steam ahead. So people don't tend to look at, hey, everything's been like almost too perfect, right? We've been making some good moves. Let's slow it down. Most people, that's when they start getting egos, no pun intended, start getting arrogant, start missing steps, or some of the things that it took to get here. Maybe you're like, nah, I'll go running when I want. But when you're hungry and you're on your way up, maybe you don't go running when you want. Maybe you have a certain time. I'm getting up at 4 a.m. every day, right? Just like the Hagler quote, it's hard to wake up in silk pajamas at 6 a.m. and run 8 miles, right? And that's when you notice it. It's like, imagine being a student and you're barely studying for your test, but you're scholastic. So you're not really doing much studying, but you keep acing the test. Then you don't really have anything to improve, so you think. But then imagine if suddenly you did a test and you bomb on the test and get an F on the test. That's when you're going to start being like, man, I should have studied more. I should have put more of a commitment to preparing for this test. I'm embarrassed about this test. I need to stay after school. I need a tutor. You know, that's when it takes these errors to be painstakingly obvious for many people to move and many people to realize the error in their ways. And unfortunately for Devin, he put himself in a bad position, him and his dad. You guys negotiated like you were Tank Davis. You negotiated with Ryan. He acted crazy. And then he got the best of you in the fight from what we've seen. And now you're thinking about, man, we should have did these things different. I guarantee you, outside of missing the drug test, Ryan probably don't feel like he should have did anything different. And, you know, at least from his perspective, he's saying that he didn't do it. And he's sticking to that. He's like, oh, tainted supplement or whatever, whether you believe him or not. But Devin, now it becomes this tightrope where based on how this last fight looked and the errors that you made. That's why boxing requires a very strong team. And this is what I said from day one. Gervonta Davis's team, the people he's surrounding himself, the Heymans and Ellerbys, his coaches, they are not going to let their star fighter be dictated to and then fight somebody and have this many blips and hiccups and missed opportunities. It, for a star fighter, is unheard of, which it really puts things in perspective that Devin Haney is not the level of star that they were pitching to you, because from the Canelos to the Tanks to even the Anthony Joshua or anybody in the past like Cotto, Floyd Mayweather, De La Hoya, things, when you're the true A side, you get to dictate the terms. You've earned it, you've worked hard, and that's the way it goes. You don't give someone the lion's share of money, let someone miss weight by almost 4 pounds, and then not do a same day rehydration clause and just say, oh, balloon up to how much you want. Even though you already outweighed me, I made weight and you didn't make weight. And then we're going to just let you replenish. You could eat pastas and carbs and then balloon up to 200 pounds. We don't care. That shows you a rookie mistake from a team that's supposed to be elite. Having no rematch clause. If you had a rematch clause, then you'd be able to hold Ryan's feet to the fire and say like, yo, we're going to see you again and it better be clean. If you fail another drug test, your career is probably over, because no one's going to take that lightly. Failing 2 tests, there's no getting out of it. You're a cheater. You know what I mean? And things like that. But this is not what the Haney's done. And it's so funny that people can say whatever they want about me, but you can't call me a liar. You can't call me inconsistent. The Haneyacks will not talk about anything that I've stated in this video because they're protecting a lie. Instead of just admitting, hey, Devin might need to get another trainer, not his dad. He might need to get some other representation, not his dad. The Haneyacks, they're so worried about whatever they're worried about, they not keeping it real. Your boy Ego always keeps it real. Whether people love me for it, hate me for it, it doesn't matter. I'm telling you like it is. And now Devin Haney is admitting what I've told you from jump. So there's that. Devin Haney's team made big, egregious mistakes. They negotiated the fight wrong. Like, there's so many opportunities where the fight should have probably been canceled. When Ryan was acting weird, he was hurting ticket sales by doing what he was doing. When he missed weight by almost 4 pounds, clearly any elite team like Tank's team or Canelo, just put this in perspective. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Imagine this. Canelo's last fight was Edgar Berlanga. Can you imagine Canelo Alvarez signing to fight Edgar Berlanga at 168, and then Berlanga comes in at, like, let's say 173, but he signed up to fight at 168. I'm not talking about how much he rehydrated to. I'm talking about he didn't make the initial weigh-in weight that he said he could per contract. Do you think Canelo Alvarez would have strict and severe punishment, if not cancel the fight or threaten to at the very least, for his non-compliance? Absolutely. Because Canelo is not going to let somebody, pull the wool over his eyes and just do whatever cheat code to try to gain some kind of unfair advantage or anything like that. But Devin's team was so confident and arrogant regarding the situation that they thought it doesn't matter. We want to beat Ryan up and we're capable of beating Ryan up. And that's it. And they thought they could do it. And then when it didn't happen like that, then now it's like, oh, he weighed too much. But Devin's already on record after the weigh-in saying weight won't matter. I'm going to beat the ish out of him. He's a C+ fighter. I'm an A+ fighter. I don't care about the weight. I never thought of pulling and canceling the fight or pulling out of the fight, even though he missed weight and is undisciplined, right? So yes, BOXINGEGO was right. yet again. Mr. I told you so. It's the funny thing is people keep saying I'm wrong. And then when I get exonerated and vindicated and it's proven that I wasn't wrong and I was right, then they get mad when I say I told you so. So for a channel, I'd rather take that. Y'all hate and say I'm wrong and I disagree and all that. But then what's done in the dark comes to light. It's always proven. And then now my name's cleared and y'all are stuck coming up with new excuses or picking up the pieces. This was a bad night for the career of Devin Haney. And we'll see what he said in the rest of this interview. But that's my breakdown of just the first part. You did make mistakes. You moved like a rookie team. Tank's team would never do that. Canelo's team would never do that. And now it's unknown what his next move is. And like just look at everything that's transpired. Devin was the WBC champion. He initially loses to Ryan Garcia and they posted a video talking about and still. Then instead of fighting his mandatory, which he's been obligated to fight and paid step aside money, Sandor Martin, he gives up his belt. So it's like now you have zero leverage. You're undefeated based on a technicality. The world is looking at it like you got scraped by Ryan Garcia and Mollywop. Now you're admitting that Boxing Ego is king of boxing talk and everything he said from jump was true. You should have canceled this fight or had a team that was willing to put these safeguards in place so you had some options, some recourse, if you will, right? You didn't do that. And now you don't have a belt because you didn't fight Sandor Martin. So it's like, what do? Moving up to 47 is a danger unless you fight a scrub. But 7 pounds, that's no easy feat. 140 looks challenging to make considering it was his second fight and he had to weigh in naked. And then he's saying it was growing pains, but we haven't heard about Devin got a new trainer or anything. So it looks like you're just keeping everything intact for the most part. So it's going to be real interesting. Like I said, Devin's in between a rock and a hard spot. Y'all could get mad. The Haneyacks can get mad and, oh man, ego. It's not ego. Ego didn't do this. If I was Devin Haney's team, I would have been said the same stuff I said in this video and he wouldn't be in the situation he's in. So don't blame ego. Oh, ego, why'd you do it? I'm not Ryan. I'm not Osterine, nor did I tell his team to do this. We unpacked